Hi family, this is Coach Gabby. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and today I'll be talking about how to write a US CV format, and that's an American CV format, right? So the last time I talked about how to write a UK CV format, and that video has gotten me so much positive feedbacks and amazing comments from you all. Thanks to those that reach out to my mail, thanks to those that were just appreciating me for the video, and thanks to everyone that subscribed to my YouTube channel. I'm really grateful. We are growing, we are getting bigger, we are getting better, we are one family, and I'm grateful for the gift of you all. All right, so on Sunday also I had this live session with a PhD scholar from University of Michigan who discussed thoroughly about how you can get a fully funded PhD scholarship even if you don't have a master's degree. So these days you really don't have to do masters before you get a PhD scholarship, or before you go ahead and do a PhD. You can actually skip masters to do PhD. So, and that is like saving yourself some money and saving yourself some stress, right? So let's go over to today's video. So today I'm going to be talking about how to write an American CV format, or some people call it US CV format, whichever one. All right, so if this is for those that would like to apply for jobs or for academics, for scholarships, for work, this video is for you. And before I continue, if you're watching this video for the first time and you are yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'm giving you some minutes now, so go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on post notifications so that you can get notified of any videos that comes from me, right? I'm going to be giving you a few seconds to do that. All right, welcome back. So let's dive in right into the topic. The first thing I'd like to say is that when it comes to writing a US CV format, I want you to know that there is academic CV and there is work CV. So you can't use academic CV to apply for jobs, and you can't use a work CV to apply for academics. So you have to be able to know the differences between an academic CV and a work CV, most especially when it comes to America. They deal with these things and they make sure that they take it serious, right? So when it comes to academic CV, this is the CV that you use to apply for scholarships, or you submit to schools for a PhD and all that. And for the work CV, that is the one that you use to apply for works, different works of your choice, different job applications, right? So there are two different things. So when it comes to academic CVs and American academic CV, right, these are the things that you need to take note of. First of all, you start with your personal information, and this is where you have your name, your LinkedIn URL, your email address, your phone number, and if you have gotten admission into that particular school, you may want to add your ID number, maybe the university ID number. So you may want to add it to your personal information. You don't need to add your date of birth, you don't need to add your gender, you don't need to add your sex, parents name, all those things. You really don't need to add all those things. You just need to add some key personal information, and that includes your name, your email address, your LinkedIn URL, and the admission ID or student ID number. Yeah, I think that is that. So you start with your personal information, and then you move ahead to education. This is because you are submitting this CV for academic purpose, so then you move to education aspects. Unlike job, you just move to your personal profile and all that, but for academics you move to your education, because everything has to do with academics. So you have to push your education forward first. Everything about education, qualifications, and the trainings that has to do with academics, it has to come first. So after your personal information, you start with your educational experiences, what you've done. Maybe you have done BSc, you've done masters, you've done diploma, you've taken courses. Your education come first, and then followed by your dissertation or thesis. For those that have done research, maybe the research you do, your projects, right, you put it next. That should come after your education. So some call it dissertation, some call it projects. Whichever one that you choose, that should come after your education, then followed by your work and research experiences, right? You can choose to add you can choose to put the project and the research together, or you can choose to put the work and the research together. Whichever way you choose, just make sure that you put your research, the research that you have done, your publications, everything has to come under the academic CV when you're applying for scholarships or educational courses or whatever, anything that has to do with academics in America. You have to add your educational background, you have to add your research, the project that you have done, your publications, whatever publications that you have done, maybe all these things you have to add it in your academic CV because it has to do with academics. And when writing all these things, please take note of the fact that you have to make use of American language, because we have British English and we have American English, so you have to be very particular about the language that you use, the English that you use. So it has to be an American English. That is the standard for USA, right? So you had that also, and you add your professional membership. Maybe you are you are a member or associate membership, whatsoever membership that you have, you are a fellow of this association. You add your professional membership and qualifications also. Maybe you've taken some courses, you've gone on on a research, on a journey, you have to add it. That comes under your professional membership, certifications and trainings, right? That is related to academics. So don't forget, we have academic CV, and this is what your academic CV must entails. And finally, when it comes to academic CV, you add your references, maybe the professors in your department, the people that you know that can stand for you in academics, because definitely in the school that you're applying for, they're going to need references, and you may need to add these references. But some send references separately, so it's not really compulsory you put it there, but sometimes you can just put it there because you are submitting for academic purposes, and for them to ask for your references, you might have gotten the admission before they ask for the references. So that is still on the safer side, right? So you will need your references. Either you put it on the CV or you send separately, because at the end of it all, your referees are going to they are going to stand for you in your academics. Now let's move to the work CV. All right, so when it comes to work CV in United States of America, it is mostly called resume. They really don't make use of CV because America they just go straight to the point. They want you to apply, they want you to submit a CV that has to do with that particular role, so they mostly call it resume. They want your resume. And if you watch my video or my last 3 or 4 videos, I talked about the differences. That was where I laid the foundation, because I knew these words are going to come when I start making some videos. So you might need to watch that if you don't know the differences between a CV and a resume. I explained that explicitly, so you might want to just go back to the video and watch it. So when it comes to writing an American CV format, they mostly call their CV resume. And resume, from the understanding of resume that we have already, resume means that it is a summarized CV, and it has to be tailored towards that particular job role, that job application. It has to be tailored towards it. So you don't just incorporate everything about your life into that resume. It has to be you have to include information that are tailored towards that specific role or specific job role that you're applying for, right? So when it comes to writing a resume, now that we know that it is resume that is being used in USA, so I'm going to keep using the word resume, right? When it comes to resumes for USA job applications, you don't need to include your pictures because they are really particular about your privacy. So they don't need you to put your pictures on your CV, and you really don't need to add the hobbies and the interest, the hobbies or your interest aspects. They just go straight to the point. Do you have what we are looking for? Put it on your CV, submit, and then let's just move. That is them. But when it comes to UK, you can include everything. UK use CV mostly because they believe that even though if you don't fit into a particular role, they can get you another role that that fits into your CV. So they accept CV mostly in the UK, but when it comes to America, you have to use your resume. So how do you write your American resume? So the first thing you need to do is still to include your personal information, that is your name, your email address, your LinkedIn URL, and your phone number, which is very important, and your address. So your home address is also very important. You have to add it. You have to add your country code and the address of where you stay, right? And you don't need to add the full details. Just add the state and the location. For those that are staying in the US, you know how you do that, right? Another thing you should be very particular about, which I've also mentioned earlier, is about the American English that is being used. You replace all the S with Z, because unlike UK, you use British English, where you have to replace the Z with S, like in prioritize, and there are some words like flavor, color. Some you have to add, you have to be specific about the letter U, right? So you have to make sure that it is American English standard. Your CV has to be American English standard. So let's talk about the structure. Like I said earlier, you start with your personal information, then you go ahead to your personal profile. This is where you talk about your professional summary or your career objectives. And after talking about that, you follow the normal format for CVs, except that you don't include your pictures and you don't include every details about your CV, just that you include information that are specific towards the job role. So you can start with your skills, those things that are specific towards that job. With your skills that is specific, that has to do with that particular job, you start with your skills. And then you can also start with your education. Maybe they are looking for someone in the accounting role and you have a qualification that has to do with it, you can start with that. So it's very, very important. So after that, after your skill, you go to your work experiences. And then volunteering experience. That's another thing about American CV. If you have a volunteering experience, that would be a very good thing to present in your CV. So followed by after your volunteering experiences, you can include the certifications, the qualifications that are tailored, that are specific towards, that are relevant towards that job application. So you include it also. And that's all. You need not to include references. It's not available. If your employer needs your references, they are going to request for it. So you need to protect the information of your referees, so you don't have to include it until it's requested for. And I think that is all about writing an American CV format or a US CV format, so whichever one that you call it. And I hope that this has enlightened you a lot on how to write an American standard CV format, right? So let me know if this is valuable to you. Comment, like, and please don't forget to share with your friends that need this information. I'm a big fan of sharing important information with my friends. So if you have friends that are finding it difficult to write a US standard CV format, then you might need to share this video with them. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because my next video we are going to be talking about how to write a Canadian CV format, and this is going to be so much detailed, and I know that a lot of people are going to gain value, because I'm going to be sharing valuable tips on how you can write a Canadian standard CV format, and I'm going to also show you templates, so you don't want to miss it, right? So don't forget, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I remain Coach Gabby. Bye.